In the opening scenes, we see a happy couple. The girl reveals that she frequently moved during her childhood. In each new home, she hid notes in various places, hoping that a part of herself would remain there. Strange sounds are heard in the house, but neither the guy nor the girl pay much attention to it. Later, the girl searches online for real estate listings while the guy remains unenthusiastic about the move. Moving day approaches. The girl wants to take her old piano with her. There are a lot of unnecessary belongings in the house. In their new place, the girl plans to start a new life with her beloved, unaware of what fate has in store for them. This night, the couple is awakened by strange sounds in the house, as if someone is hitting the piano keys. They immediately went to check what was wrong. Perhaps something fell on the piano. It's early morning. We see the aftermath of a two-car collision. The driver of one of the cars was that guy. The girl arrived at the morgue. Until she saw it with her own eyes, she couldn't believe that her beloved was no more. They had many plans for a shared future, but the accident ruined everything. When the girl leaves, we see the guy get up. He had a white sheet over him. Now he's a ghost like we used to see in the old classic horror movies. The ghost walks through the hospital corridor, but no one around him notices him. The ghost heads towards the exit. Doors and any other obstacles are no hindrance to him because he lives in a non-material world. Next, we see the ghost walking across a field towards his home. It was a long road. It turns out the afterlife exists, but it's not as many imagine. And so, the ghost finds himself in his home. It's empty now. The ghost has been in every room. Just yesterday, he lived a normal life here with his beloved. Neither of them anticipated that everything would end in one moment. Suddenly there was a knock on the door. Since no one opened it, a woman entered and left a pie on the table. She also left a note. Throughout this time, the ghost observed attentively. Soon the woman left, and the ghost remained. He read a note from Linda expressing sympathy to the widow and a willingness to help in any way. After some time, the girl returned. She looked broken but didn't cry. After reading the note and seeing the pie, she rearranged it. Afterward, she mechanically went about her daily chores at home. She even tasted the pie. It was at this point that the girl gave in to her emotions. She could no longer hold back her tears from the bitterness of loss. The realization that her beloved would never come back was unbearable for her. Despite everything, the girl continued to eat the pie, sitting right on the floor. She had no idea that the beloved remained with her in the form of a ghost in a white sheet. The girl ate so much that she began to feel nauseous. At night, she sat on the bed for a long time. It was unusual for her to be alone in the empty apartment. She used to fall asleep with the one she loved. The ghost touched her, but the girl didn't feel it, unable to stop crying. All night, the ghost stood by her bed while she slept. In the morning, the ghost approached the window, just like the girl. Outside, it was pouring rain. They stood together, though the girl was unaware that someone else was here. For her, life became gray and empty. Despite this, the girl firmly decided that she must go on. Each of her days was similar to the previous one, and the ghost watched attentively. His presence affected electronic devices in the house. Outside, the weather changed day by day. At some point, in the house across from the ghost, he saw another like himself. They greeted each other with gestures. The second ghost is waiting for someone, but who exactly, it doesn't remember. Such is their fate, quite different from what is described in the Bible. This ghost is always waiting too. His whole life is waiting, and everything else has ceased to matter. One evening, the girl was walked home by her new boyfriend. The ghost saw them kissing. The guy didn't mind staying, but the girl said he should leave. She didn't know what pain the ghost felt at that moment. Electrical appliances in the house began to go crazy, and the books fell off the shelf by itself. The girl saw it only in the morning. The ghost hopes that his beloved will understand this sign. The open pages of the book spoke of a man leaving his beloved. The girl reminisces about the past. Back then, the beloved put headphones on her and let her listen to a song he composed. In the present, the girl listens to the same song. Of course she still longs for her lover. The girl can't know that he hasn't completely left her. He's still here, but people can't see him. Ghosts have other ways of communicating with the world of the living. Later, the ghost observed as his beloved packed her things. They had planned to move in together, but now the girl would do it alone. Life must go on for her. Seeing rainbow reflections on the wall, the girl considered it signs. Before leaving, she left a note in the wall, as she always did. The ghost watched from the window as his beloved left forever. From now on, he too is condemned to eternal waiting. But soon the ghost will likely forget whom exactly he is waiting for. It will go on like this forever. The ghost remained alone in the empty house. He tried to retrieve the note from the wall but couldn't. Suddenly children ran into the house. It may have been a long time, but for the ghost, the passage of time is perceived differently. Now another family lives in this house, a mother and 2 children. After renovations, everything here has changed. The ghost constantly watches the family. Months pass by. On Christmas, they decorated the tree, unaware that a ghost roams nearby. The children often sense a presence. The ghost learns more and more to interact with the real world, disturbing the residents of the house. One night, the door opened on its own, frightening the brother and sister. The mother explained that there are no ghosts. At that very moment, the ghost was next to them. One evening, while the mother and children were having dinner, the ghost saw a photo of the happy family on the piano, and got angry, smashing it. After that, the ghost began throwing objects and breaking dishes, terrifying the family. When it was all over, the mother picked up the shards from the floor. She realizes that there is something supernatural in the house. The ghost once again tried to retrieve the note from the wall, but to no avail. After the incident, the family moved out. The house across the street also continues to be haunted by the ghost. New occupants have replaced the old ones in the house. There was a party here. Drunk people were having fun, discussing ghosts and the afterlife. One of the guys told a theory about the collective memory of humanity. According to this theory, things like Beethoven's symphony will never be forgotten, even if civilization collapses. It's a form of immortality. This will continue until the universe collapses back into a singularity. That will signify the end of everything. During the story, the lights in the house began to blink, hinting at the presence of a ghost. Years pass. The house falls into disrepair. No one has lived here for a long time except the ghost, the eternal inhabitant of this place. The ghost still hasn't given up hope of retrieving the note from the wall. He almost succeeded, but suddenly bulldozers began to demolish his house and the neighboring one. The ghosts stand among the ruins of their homes. The second ghost silently expresses that the ones they have been waiting for all this time will not return. The ghost then disappears, leaving behind only a white sheet. Time passes. A skyscraper is being built on this spot. The once rural area has turned into a city. Construction is in full swing. Soon some spaces in the building were rented out as offices. No one around has any idea of the presence of supernatural forces. The ghost wanders through the rooms. On the roof, he looked at the city of the future, then took a step down and found himself in a clearing where a family of settlers is building a house. It's quiet and serene here, there's nothing around but nature. Perhaps millennia have passed, and the collapse of civilization has occurred. Now those who survived are rekindling the human race anew, while technological progress has been set back thousands of years. A family dined by the campfire, reciting a prayer. No one knows that among them is a lost soul that cannot find peace. One day the ghost heard the little girl humming a song he had once written for his beloved. The girl wrote a note and hid it under a stone. Suddenly the family was attacked by the indigenous population. The ghost watched them, already lifeless, for a long time. After an unknown period, a house was built. The ghost saw himself with his beloved. Linda, the realtor, showed them the house. The guy asked about the piano. Linda replied that it had always been here. Now the ghost can see his relationship with the beloved from the sidelines. They often argued about moving. The girl wanted to move, while the guy wanted to stay in this house. However, on the night before his demise, the guy finally agreed to move. That very night, the ghost was the source of a strange noise. Perhaps it was his sign to himself. The next day after the girl returned from the morgue, a second ghost appeared in the house. But they didn't see each other. The first ghost tried once again to retrieve the note from the wall. This time he succeeded. After reading the note, the ghost disappeared, leaving behind only a white sheet. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel not to miss more exciting new products. Also, the authors will be pleased if you leave your opinion in the comments.